So in today's video, I want to do two things to this four-wheel drive Vauxhall Nova. So first off, I want to fit these 5-stud conversion hubs alongside these Cavalier Turbo brakes, and to fit these Vectra Super Touring 16-inch alloys on the front. So the second thing I want to do is to fit these gear cables and the selector. This is out of an Aston J. They're too long and they're not going to fit the Nova. So I'm going to show you exactly how to modify them and make them work and shift perfectly. Now, the gearbox we've already modified. We've fitted Aston J turret into the old Cavalier gearbox. If you want to know how to do that, click on the top right-hand corner. And once this lot is fitted, it's going to feel absolutely awesome. That is absolutely beautiful. Right, let's start by fitting this front hub. So what we've got here, we've got some Vectra 5-stud front hubs which have been machined to fit inside Nova wheel bearings. I managed to get a spare set of standard Nova knuckles. I pressed the old bearings out, put some new Lucas bearings in, and then pressed them all together. Give it a lick of paint and they look loads better. So as it was already converted to big block previously, the shafts fit straight in. Standard Nova shafts would not fit these hubs though, just to pre-warn you in case you think you can do it. So reassemble all the suspension in reverse order and torque everything up to manufacturer spec using my windy gun. I did make a slight cock up though because I forgot to put the spacer between the drive shaft and the CV joint. Now a standard Nova wouldn't have these, but because it's got big block CV joints, you need to fit a spacer. Once that was rectified, it was time to put the brand new Cavalier Turbo front brake discs on. Now I've already got Cavalier Turbo brake calipers and pads, but I was running 4-stud discs. So this just kind of completes the setup. And then finally, I can fit the 16-inch Super Touring alloy. So now the near side's done, we're going to move on to the off side. Now this side is slightly different because the drive shaft's slightly different. So I'm going to explain the difference and show you now. So it's now time for a shameless plug. Now the channel has grown steadily over the last couple of years, but recently it's started to grow a bit quicker. And we're getting close to 5,000 subscribers. So if you like my content and you watch it regularly, please support the channel if you haven't already by hitting the subscribe button, liking the videos, leaving comments below. It helps the channel grow and keeps a big smile on my face and allows me to make great content for you guys. So the difference, so this is a modified equal length drive shaft setup from a Cavalier. So this has been shortened to fit a Nova, and that is the center bearing. So this bolts to the block, comes out the gearbox, and that goes there and that pulls down. And the idea is this and the other side shaft is about the same, so the angle's about the same, which reduces torque steer. So what's different about the four-wheel drive system? Well, it still has this kind of drive shaft setup, but it doesn't use this. This is essentially the transfer box. The transfer box is this bit here, and that goes into the end of the transfer box. That's the only difference. So if you're going to make a four-wheel drive Nova, which I wouldn't recommend, if you are going to do it, you need an equal length drive shaft setup, although that is least of your worries. So I've got a quick question. I've invested in a better quality microphone recently because I were getting some negative feedback, which I took on board. Audio was a little bit up and down. Let me know in the comments if you think it's good enough. I'll stick with it. If you don't, I'll invest in a really, really good one. But they are a lot of pennies. And obviously, if you know anybody who wants to sponsor my channel by supplying one or even giving me a small donation towards one, then obviously I'm very welcome to any donations. Alternatively, just subscribe. That does the same thing eventually. Right, so now she's back on the wheels and sitting pretty. It's time to move on to the gear cables. Now, I've not seen anybody shorten these online. Any car. I've looked all over YouTube, looked all over the internet. I can't find any videos of anybody shorting any. There probably is some, but I can't see them. So I've had to work out exactly how to do that. So I've had to work out how they're assembled in the factory and how I can disassemble them and build them back up. Because obviously these are going to be rigid cables. If they're not, it's not going to work because they're a push-pull cable. So first off, let's get it in the car, let's get it mocked up and see how much we need to shorten it by. Right, so there we go, that end is on as it should be. So I said I reckon it needs shortening by 6 inches, actually needs shortening by 6.5 inches. So that's 17 centimetres. So I'm going to take all this out now, and hopefully once we're done, this is going to fit in the standard position. So if you look here, you can see exactly where it's being crimped. Now, this is a flexible cable running through the inner, but each end you've got a solid 6mm bar coming out with a hole in the middle where it crimps onto the cable. Now, this has to be solid, so it's crimped further down. You can't crimp it this end because you can't physically get to it. If this was the very end of the steel, then it would fold over instead of going in. As you can see, that's solid. So I'd imagine this probably ends down here somewhere. It gives it a bit of rigidity. So I hope that makes sense. Hence why they've crimped it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this off carefully. and then we can start pulling it apart. So this is one of them jobs where you have to be super, super careful. So I grind a little bit off and I keep twisting it slightly till it eventually cracks, and then I just pull the end out. So what do we know? Well, that needs to be 57 mil. So inner 57 mil to the end. So this is the inner. That's 57 mil. Inner BJ, and that's 18. Right, so what does all this mean then? So this here, once it's complete, slides on this 57 millimeter, and this should be a total length of 183 millimeter. So that's going to go on like that. So whatever I shorten this cable by, which is going to be 6.5 inches, this needs to go on the same amount for the inner cable to be the same length, if that makes sense. So we're going to take 6.5 inches off this, 17 centimeters. So next up, we need to shorten the outer cable the same length. So I'm going to use this as a guide. So I think I'm going to cut it here to start off with. Then I need to cut the same amount off this. Then I need to cut the same amount off this. I'm going to use a little bit of tape as a reference. And there we go. That's that. So now we need to join them two back together. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know I'm a bit of a hoarder, and there's a good reason for that. Now I wanted a bit of steel tube that went over the outside of this cable. I've looked in my steel bin, found this bit of old scrap pipe. I don't know what it was off, I can't remember. But it just happens to be exactly the right bore. So I'm going to cut a couple of lengths of this, which is going to sleeve over the top of this. I can then bond this to this, and that is going to act as a perfect joiner for my cable and make it nice and strong. And there we go, as if by magic, that slots onto there, and that slots onto there. Beautiful. So the next thing I want to do is get rid of this end ball joint. Now, as you can probably see there's a lot of play in it. It's quite worn, it's kind of like rubber mounted. I've bought these, which are actually bonnet strut ball joints. So the plan is I'm going to lock that off. I'm going to put a die down the end, standard M6 thread, which is what that is. And then I can then screw that on and set the position perfect. That's the plan anyway. So I start by cutting the end off and cleaning the end up. Then transfer it to the vise and use an M6 die to put a thread down the end of this rod. Now it's stainless steel, it is quite hard. So I take my time and just work it backwards and forwards, and eventually we get there. Then it's a case of screwing a new ball joint on and locking it off the spanner. And don't that look great? Another little development, instead of bonding this tube on, I've discovered I can actually crimp it. So this is a crimper for electrical cables. So this is for like your big battery cable, etc. Hydraulic crimper. I've discovered if I use a 50mm crimper, it works perfectly. So I'm going to show you. So there we go. That is now crimped on there beautifully. And the cable still slides through perfectly. So I'm very happy with that. So I slide the other ended out cable on and then crimp it up a couple of times. Now I'm using a 50mm squared crimper for this. That'll do a normal 50mm square crimp in case you want to do it. Probably unlikely you'll copy me exactly, but there you go, that's what I'm using. Look at that, factory. You'd never know, would you? And the cable pushes and pulls through beautifully. So we're a couple of days later and I've been thinking about how I'm going to do this. So this is the inner part of the cable. Now I ground it off and the plan was to weld it back up and then weld it onto the flexible part of the cable essentially. But then I thought, what about, instead of doing that, buying some more rod? So what I've done, I've bought some 6mm stainless steel rod with a 4mm hole in the middle, which is exactly the same spec as the original piece. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut this off here. I'm going to thread the end to M6. I bought these nice long M6mm nuts. These are stainless steel, which is going to slot onto there. I can then thread the end of that, slot that onto that, cut this at the same length as standard, and then the creme de la creme, I've made a jaw for my crimper, which has got a 5.5mm hole in it, which allows me to crimp it. So this is the scrap bit of cable, and I've managed to crimp the flexible bit to the solid 6mm bit. That's the crimp there. It's not quite as neat, but it does work, and it's absolutely solid. So I'm really happy with that because it's basically a factory finish. That's how it should be. So yeah, once these are shortened, I don't think you're going to really know, and they're going to be just as reliable, just as strong, and very factory looking. So I am really pleased with that. Right, let's put the theory into practice and make it all work. Right, so I start by dismantling the ball joint. Now this is the adjustable end, so they generally have like a sprung-loaded lock, which you slide back, which allows you to pull it apart. Now I do try and put a thread on the end of this, but what I'm finding is the steel rod is moving inside the plastic end. Now I did try getting the steel bit out plastic, wasn't having any of it. So in the end, what I did do was I drilled the end of the nut out to 6mm so it could be pressed on. Then I drilled a couple of 2mm pinholes straight through the locking nut and the rod inside it. Then I put a 2mm locking pin straight through the centre of that, ground it off, and then I used my crimper to crimp it into place. So this is kind of like a mechanical lock. It's not going anywhere, and it's pressed as well. Finally, I finish it off in a drill with a bit of emery cloth, acting like a lathe, and it looks absolutely great. I'm super stoked with it. Right, if I go back to my original diagram, this flexible cable went inside this solid piece at 57mm. Now, I've just used my vernier caliper, just this here, to measure 57mm on there, as you can see. So this cable's all the way out. So if I put that there, which lines up with that masking tape there, that cable's all the way out, and then mark where this needs to be, in reference to the end of this cable, that is exactly where the cable needs to be. So if I use these modified crimpers now, crimp that into place, that should be one cable done. So I crimped it with the 5.5mm crimper, however, wasn't quite happy with how tight it was, so I've changed it for a 5mm. So basically I've just drilled another 5mm hole through the end, done it with that, and it's absolutely as solid as a rock. I dress it back a little bit with a little bit of emery cloth afterwards, and put the ball joint back on, and it's perfect. So there we go, that's one completed cable. Now, it feels nice and smooth, it works really well. Nice and strong. Yes, the factory crimp does look a little bit nicer than that. However, let's be honest, it doesn't really matter too much. You're not going to see this. I have just dressed it back a little bit with a flat disc. But yeah. Right, let's do the other cable. I'm going to do that off camera because I don't need to repeat myself and see what she fits like. So both cables are now done. They're super smooth. I've oiled them and they feel really good. So next job is to fit them on the car. Now, one thing I do need to do when I restore the car is to tidy up the hole in the bulkhead. It's a little bit hacked. I'm not that happy with it. And I want to make it so a proper grommet can either bolt on or slot through. So that's a job for a later date. But for now, feed the cables through and I put the ball joints on the other end, which again is a little bit fiddly. Now the cables are in exactly the right place, so my measurements worked. So I'll hook it up to the gear shifter and then start working out how I'm going to bolt it down. So top tip from me is, because it's got captive bolts going through the middle, I put a little bit of white paint on the bottom of them, line it up on the floor where it wants to be, and then you've got 4 white dots with exactly where you need to drill. So I drill the holes to 6.5mm, then I use some penny washers and some nylon nuts to hold it on. And as I said earlier, I will weld the floor up before I use it on the road. This is just to test it out. So there we go, we've got it bolted in. What I've done, I've just drilled some temporary holes in the floor for now to bolt this through. When I restore the car properly, I'm going to weld a plate in this, fill all the holes up, and then I'll bolt it in better. Plus, when I get the seating, I can work out exactly how high I want it. But I think at the minute, I'm pretty happy with that. So I just want to show you just how good this feels. Now remember, what I've done, this mod applies to a lot of vehicles. Anything with an engine conversion with gear cables, and needs shortening, you could apply this logic to them gear cables and make it work. But just look how good this is. Whew. That is absolutely beautiful. Reverse. First, second, third, fourth, And fifth. Proper direct, solid. Loads better than even the standard gear cables, because I've removed them rubber bushes at the end. Loads more direct. Really nice. Woo! That feels good. A Nova gear linkage should not feel that good. They are normally very sloppy. This is completely opposite. Very direct, very sharp. Stunning. Really happy. So I am absolutely over the moon with how good this feels. So if you enjoyed this episode and want to share some love, click subscribe on the channel, like the video, leave a nice little comment below, and stay tuned for more. See you later, guys, and goodbye. Ooh.